Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renaissance Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the ICC Hour. I'm Adam Gore, and you know what? Thanks for hanging out with us for the next hour here on Super Talk Mississippi 101.9 FM. Now, we've got a fun show lined up for you this afternoon. I had a chance to catch up with an old friend last week, Reggie Kelly, an Aberdeen native, former Mississippi State tight end and NFL veteran that's doing a lot of awesome things in his life after football. Now, we had a chance to have a great conversation about football, faith, and food, so you'll want to be sure and stick around for that during the first 2 segments of the show. Now, you'll hear us talk about our Super Bowl picks. This was originally planned to be on last week's show, but schedules got in the way, so maybe we were right on our pick, so we'll see on that one. Now, of course, last week was National Signing Day for the ICC football program. The Indians welcomed 25 new members to the ICC family, and I had a chance to catch up with Indian head coach Sean Cannon to talk about or basically take a look at the signing class and more. That'll be our Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi spotlight later in the show. Now, in case you missed any of the previous shows, you can watch them on our YouTube channel by simply searching the ICC Hour. Now, while you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and follow Itawamba CC on your favorite social media platforms. Now, of course, with COVID and weather playing havoc on not just ICC's, but everyone's spring athletic schedule, instead of trying to tell you what's going to happen each week because it's going to change, we encourage you to visit letsgoicc.com. That's letsgoicc.com to keep up with everything ICC athletics, including those schedule changes. You can also search Let's Go ICC on YouTube to subscribe to our channel there. We're updating videos constantly on there. And then we also want you to follow us on your favorite social media platform. Just search us out, Let's Go ICC. That's for all those athletic updates. We tweet in-games updates if you can't watch them there as well. All right, we've got a great show ahead of us, and before we get to that, I do want to remind you the show is being presented by our friends at Renaissance Bank. Learn more about Renaissance Reward Extras checking account by visiting renaissancebank.com. Man, they've got so many banking options there at Renaissance Bank. I promise you that they'll have the best option, and they'll also keep the best interest for you and your money, because Renaissance Bank, they understand you. Back with Reggie Kelly here on the ICC Hour right after this.
Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renaissance Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
I feel like I'm the good kind of spicy. It means you got an edge. I got an edge.
It means you got some umph, and I got some umph.
I don't know about your umph, but impatience doesn't equal spicy. Sonic Chicken Slinger.
Is it a good umph or a bad umph?
Would you rather eat in the car or eat at the dinner table at home?
Rather eat in the car.
You can turn on some tunes, dancing, eating. You know how weird we'd look if we did this at the kitchen table?
Sonic Wacky Pack.
Right now, we just having a good time.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
That's home. That's just like the Ravens. That's just like Pahokee, Florida. That's my second home. I got my degree from there, my first degree, college degree. It's part of my heart, it's part of my soul, it's part of my spirit. And, you know, it's everything. Itawamba Community College, baby, it's everything. It shaped me up to being a great man because it was part of the journey of me becoming the young man I am today. And it's home, man. That's it. Like, I can go there and lay my head down without no problems. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
And welcome back to the ICC Hour here on Super Talk Mississippi, 101.9 FM. And folks, we got a special guest on today's show. I'm just going to go through his accolades, so hang tight with me here. First team, all SEC. SEC made it to the SEC championship game. Drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in 1999. Also played with the Cincinnati Bengals. 2007 Ed Block Courage Award winner. He's an NFL veteran. He's an author. He's a CEO and founder of Kyvan Foods. And it all started in Aberdeen, Mississippi. And we've got Mr. Reggie Kelly joining us on the show today. Reggie, thanks for joining us.
Hey, my man. It's always a pleasure. It's been a long time since you and I have sat down and just rapped a little bit. It's always great to see you and hope your 2021 year is starting off with a bang.
Absolutely, man. Matter of fact, I think the last time we saw each other might have been Indianapolis a good many years ago. So,
yes.
Well, Reggie, let's catch up, man. How's life treating you and the family?
Well, life is going extremely well. I'm just so grateful to the good Lord for a great wife and two great kids. Got a 16-year-old daughter.
Wow.
Her name is Kyla. A 14-year-old son. His name is Kyvan. You know, I don't think when you and I did that interview back in Indy, if my kids were even born.
I think the girl was just born.
I think my girl was. That's absolutely right. My daughter was just born, and so now to see them, they're 16 years of age. Oh, they grew up so fast. I have a tear coming right here.
Man, that's crazy to think. When you said how old she was, I was like, hold on, has it been that long? But it has.
It has. It's been a long time, man. And so everything is going great with my family. Just extremely happy to be in the position that we're in. I actually coach, high school football up here as well. I coach the tight end position, which I'm not sure why they had me coaching that position, but I'm coaching tight ends and just enjoying teaching kids life through football as well. So, man, I'm living the dream.
Well, Reggie, that's kind of what we say here at ICC. Of course, it's a kind of a pun, but it is. We say community is our middle name, Itawamba Community College. And that's something that's big with you as well. And you're talking about giving back to the kids. I know you're big about giving back to home and each opportunity you get. Even guys in the NFL now sometimes reach out to you about some advice as well. Mm-hmm. Why is that so important to you and has been so important to you all these years?
Well, I believe to whom much is given, much is required. My family taught me that a long time ago, that it's better to give than to receive. And so I try to carry those same Christian principles with me everywhere I go. And I am an advocate for helping your neighbors. Your neighbors are not just the person that stays next door to you, but those neighbors who live in neighboring states, neighboring countries, neighboring towns, whatever the case may be, and to look for opportunities to be a blessing. I don't believe that God necessarily gave us, all of us, the gifts, the potential, even the finances, just so we can hoard those gifts and talents and finances for ourselves. I believe God gave it to them so we can help those who may need, a helping hand. A lot of times people are not looking for a handout. They're just looking for a hand up. And that's what we try to do. If there's people that have suffered from natural disasters and when situations like that hit, they hit extremely hard and they hit. And when they do hit you, they're hit unexpectedly. And so what we try to do is go in and help those families to give them a ray of sunshine, some type of hope in the midst of despair. We also like to give the kids, for those families, that don't have enough finances and are struggling. We try to help the kids out, especially during back to school. So give them free back to school supplies and just things of that nature. So any way we can find opportunities to do so, we're going to try to do it. And we're praying that it will help somebody. And hopefully again, we try to live by example, that the example that we're setting will rub off from somebody else, and so that they can do the same thing.
Reggie, I think that's a great message, especially in the current state of the world we live in. It's one of those where I hate to say it, but it is what it is. It's just a crazy time. And at the end of the day, I believe good always wins. And I think that's one thing we always need, is to be that example and be the goodness that somebody's looking for.
Absolutely. And listen, I make no bones about it. I do tons of interviews about what's going on in our society today. It could be black, white, it can be politics, it could be NFL, whatever the case may be. I tell people this all the time. I said, listen, I'm not on the side of black. I'm not on the side of white. I'm on the side of what's right. Exactly what you just said. And I think that if we want to see a change, the change that we want to see, it starts with me. So it's important for me not to be swayed to the left or to the right, but to do what's right in the eyesight of God. And I know he will be pleased. Because at the end of the day, I feel like I have to answer to him. And I want to be able to look myself in the mirror and say, you did the right thing. It's important for me. I teach my kids, listen, you have to do things the right way. You have to live with excellence. Don't have to be perfect, but live with some form of excellence. You have to do things the right way. Well, if I don't do it the right way, but I'm telling them to do it the right way, I'm sending mixed signals. And so I definitely don't want to do that. And I definitely want to handle this platform. We all are leaders. We all are leaders. Here's the thing. Are you a good leader or are you a bad one? Point blank. It's either or. And so I want to use this platform that the good Lord has given me and make sure that I lead the right way, even if it's inconvenient, even if it's a tough choice, even if I may lose some people that supposed to be in my corner. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm doing what's right, I can sleep better at night.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great message that a lot of people are hearing right now. And when I went back, because I moved recently and I was going through some boxes and I found your book, Prepared. And I was like, man, I haven't read this in years. So I sat down and read it. And I'm telling you, man, a lot of stuff that you wrote back then really is hammering home now with me, especially. What inspired you to write that book? And have you reflected on that since you wrote it to maybe even think about maybe doing another one?
The funny thing you say that. I wrote this book, and I remember a few years back, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I gave it to my daughter. And she said, Dad, I don't want to read this boring book. And she said, this is just some stuff that you put together, Dad. And Lord, I said, well, just try it. You might like it. And so she put it down for some years. And finally, she decided to pick it up. This year, she decided to pick it up, and she's been reading it and she can't put it down. And she said, Dad, wow, you said this. Wow, Dad, wow. And the book was intended to encourage people, really, in so many essence. We all go through tough times. We also experience great times. But let's be honest, you learn your greatest life lessons through the hard times. Frederick Douglass said it best, if there's no struggle, there's no progress. So we all are going to struggle. We all are going to have things that we go through in life. We have flaws. We have things that just not where we want to be. But those are not the times to give up. Those are not the times to become negative. Those are the times really to push harder to achieve the purpose that God has in store for you. So I want to encourage people to realize the small things that you go through in life are really big things that's going to help prepare you to bigger and better levels. If you have the right attitude, you can become bitter or you can become better, but it's all your choice in the matter. And so that's the reason why I want to write it, to encourage people. I gave some instances, some of my experiences that I've gone through, and I was as transparent as I could be. I wasn't trying to be arrogant or prideful. I wanted people to see I messed up here. But yet now look where I'm at, because I didn't give up, and I'm grateful to the good Lord for the opportunity to encourage so many. And then when I see my daughter reading it, and she's 16-year-old, she likes it, so that meant a lot to me as well.
Absolutely. Talk about that uniqueness at the house, where your kids are getting the age now where they kind of understand who Dad is and what Dad does. Just talk about that unique atmosphere.
Well, when they were little kids, I was still playing in the NFL, so they would go to my games, but they really didn't know what they were watching. You know, they would go to the game, but they didn't understand. But now they watch NFL football, or they watch sports, and they see players and they see interviews, and they'll see me having some interviews now or doing some events, and then they say, "Huh, Dad, I didn't know that this is what you did." I said, "Yes, this is what I've done and what I've tried to do, even though I'm put in the spotlight, even though I have a lot of things that's coming my way, I'm still trying to handle it the right way. For me, I don't want my kids to think that I make money or that money makes me. You know, I want them to see that, hey, I make money, but money does not make Reggie Kelly. I play football, but football is not Reggie Kelly. Football is just simply what I do. A man of God is who I am. Football would change, your occupation would change. Me selling salsa, me selling this, that's going to change because I may sell something else. All that stuff is going to change. So that's temporary. But who I am, the essence of Reggie Kelly, that will never change. And I know I'm solidified in the hands of the good Lord. And so I want them to understand substance, not just flair and stuff that's only on the surface. I want them to go a little bit deeper. So again, every opportunity I have to teach them, I try to do so. And I try to do it when I'm not too overbearing, because you know how teenagers can get.
Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renaissance Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
The outlook for overpriced pizza has never been better. Who's gonna stop us?
Sir, Little Caesars has the lowest price pizza delivered, guaranteed.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. Get $5 off your first delivery.
Pizza.
Parmesan, Asiago, and fresh mozzarella.
All this cheesing is rather pleasing.
Yep, tastes like $1 million.
Pepperoni cheeser. Only $7.
Pizza.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs, and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion, or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton, or online davisfordsales.com.
Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Well, we're talking with Reggie Kelly, NFL veteran, author, founder, and CEO of Kaivan Foods. And whenever I let somebody, and it's very, well, not, I wouldn't say very rare, it depends on how much I have, but when I do let somebody try some of the salsa, they ask about you. And this is how I like to describe you. You're an ambassador of good. And that's what's come through on the show so far. So Super Bowl, you need superfood. So let's talk a little Kaivan real quick. Talk about the history of this. This is something you and your wife, Sheila, came up with. Proves you're a smart man because she said this is something she wanted to do, and you listened to her. So just talk about the brand and how it's grown over the years.
Honestly, as you know the story. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to start a food line. This was not something that was organic. Well, it was strictly organic. It wasn't something that I planned. It wasn't something that I just, hey, this is what I want to do when I finish football. Because quite frankly, I wanted to go and work in the NFL front office. Toward the end of my career, 2 years before I retired, I spoke to Coach Marvin Lewis, who was my head coach at the time in Cincinnati, and told him, "Hey, man, listen, I'm getting a little long in the tooth. The tread on the tire is wearing thin, and so I want to think about life after football." And I said, I think that it'd be a great idea if I work in the front office of an NFL franchise. And he agreed. He felt like that would be the best place for my talents. And so we started working towards that. We were geared up to working towards that. Had a great meeting with Ron Hill. I'm sure you remember that name. And I still talk with Ron Hill to this day. Had a great, some great meetings with him. He advised me as well on what he thought I should do. And so I was well on my way to working for the NFL. But lo and behold, things can take you on a different path. And during that time, I used to throw free football camps for the kids in my hometown of Aberdeen. And in those camps, I wanted to reward the kids who exemplify great academic excellence. So I gave them free football camps, free food. I flew down my teammates to reward the kids. I just wanted to make it really big for them, and they enjoyed it. But after the football camps, and for that matter, we know after any event in Mississippi, we're going to have some good food.
Amen.
That's a no-brainer. And so my family and my wife's family cooked for all the volunteers, and my teammates couldn't stop raving about the food. And I remember, it's funny, I remember one night my teammate's wife, she called my wife Sheila and said, "You guys really need to do something with these family recipes." Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to do it. I was like, well, I don't know anything about the food industry. I like to eat. That's as much as I know about the food industry.
Me and you both.
We're in the same boat. And so my wife came to me and said, "Well, you know what? That's really not a bad idea. Perhaps we need to just dive into it and see." And so I took my wife's advice, and lo and behold, we tried to come up with some catchy names. I was thinking of Reggie Kelly's. No, not going to work. What about 82s? Well, how many NFL players, college players had the jersey 82? That's not going to work. And my wife said, "Well, listen, we've always wanted to leave a great legacy behind for our kids. Why not name the company after our kids?" My daughter, her name is Kyla. That's where the KY comes from. And my son's name is Kaven. So we combined the two to come up with Kyven. So we want to leave a great legacy behind for our kids. And that's how the business got started. In of itself, just an idea with us working in the community, and then my teammates liking our food process, liking our food products. And then boom, lo and behold, a great idea was given to my wife. And like you said, beside every great man is an even better woman.
Absolutely. And all right, so there's a lot of stuff is Apple based with that. And Brandon, our buddy Brandon Speck, he calls me a foodie. I think that's a polite way of calling me fat. But he's like, man, he's like, you need to try Reggie's salsa. He's like, I know you're kind of picky about your salsa, but I really think you're gonna like this. He's like, he don't like hot stuff. So I'm like, all right, he found some in Aberdeen and brought it to me. And I'm telling you, dude, I'm a snob about my salsa, and this is something that never leaves my refrigerator now. It's that good. Why was it's just a unique flavor, a unique thought process? What inspired that?
Well, most of our food products are just family recipes. I grew up next door to my grandmother, and so did my wife. So we got all the great seeds. My grandma used to make homemade preserves. I mean, we used to get together, my family, and just find reasons to cook and have great camaraderie, great conversations, just great get-together. We used to find any excuse to do that. And we used to joke each other when you bring a bad meal, when a bad dish, when it didn't quite pan out. And it was just fun times, and I remember that. And so all I simply did was, I took the advice of my teammates, and they said, "Man, these family recipes, man, they're great." And we just decided, hey, let's take a chance on taking what we've already enjoyed all of our lives and give it to those all around the country, all around the world. Now, it took some time to get all the ingredients measured down to a science, right? Because, my family, hey, add a little bit of this, baby, add a little bit of that, baby, get a little taste. No, just a dash more of this. And so what I had to do was just take the main ingredients that they have. Some of the recipes were down to a science. Some of them I had to just take them and make sure I add a little bit of this and then let my family members taste it to make sure that I was right on course with the way that the final product was supposed to taste. But these are just family recipes that we've had in our family from generation to generations. And to be quite frankly, we've only scratched the surface to the amount of products that we're actually going to bring to the market that's already in the pipeline. And so what we try to do is, my family, man, we throw everything in our food, everything. And we want to make sure that those products that what we're giving you taste extremely well. So that's why we have products like the honey apple salsa. We didn't just want to give you a regular salsa with tomatoes and onions and peppers and salt and, salt. We didn't want to do that. We said, let's add those apples that we're so accustomed to, which we love apples, and honey, which we're accustomed to, and we love honey. And let's just use that recipe and see how it fits. And lo and behold, we've gotten really great reviews. We won awards for that particular product. And I'm glad that you enjoy it too, my friend.
Oh, yeah, that apple, what is it, apple honey butter? Oh, man.
Yes, honey apple butter.
Yeah,
honey apple butter.
Killer.
And here's the thing, like I said, my wife grew up next door to her grandmother, and so did I. So, man, we used to always get, like, biscuits from scratch, and my grandma used to make fresh, jams and just fresh, man. And I just remember those days of just sitting around the table, my grandma just giving us so much wisdom. When I was a little boy, I didn't understand it, but just listening to her talk and just tell you just little things. And man, I miss those days. But what brings a smile to my face is whenever we receive messages from customers and to hear them say, man, that honey apple butter reminded me of my grandmother. I remember when this used to happen. And you could just see the smile coming from their heart.
Yeah.
And that does me really well to see that, when people try products, it takes them down memory lane, just like it takes me down memory lane as well.
Absolutely, 100%. And you can find that online, kaivan82.com. I believe it's also available at walmart.com, Amazon. That's where I order a lot of mine. If I run thin and I don't, I run down the road to Amory, Aberdeen, Food Giant, grab them there. So they're available outlets as well. Reggie, I've already kept you longer than I anticipated, but it's just been such a great conversation. I do want to wrap up by asking a few questions and give you the opportunity to kind of address people that might be listening that you haven't seen in a while, back home or anything. My first question is, you're a very busy guy and you're very dedicated to what you do. What keeps you motivated to go?
Well, here's my favorite Bible verse is this. Colossians 3:23 says, whatsoever you do, do it wholeheartedly as to the Lord and not unto man. That is my motivation. I want to do everything with excellence so that I can be a trailblazer. Everybody's not going to like that. Everybody's not going to agree with that. There are some people that's going to try to pull me to the left or try to pull me to the right. But I have blinders on because I know that I have to stay true to what I was commissioned to do. And I'm going to do it and then have fun in the process. And that's my motivation, because I don't want the kids coming behind me to think, well, every athlete is this, every athlete is that. No, that's not the case. I'm not this. I'm not that. I have 3.88 GPA in school. So if I could do it, you can do it. There's no excuses. I worked extremely hard. I came to practice early and I had to stay after practice late. Then I went straight home and make sure I got my studies. If I could do it, then you can do it. And I try to keep these kids accountable, not letting them make any type of excuses, because I've already been there and I've already done that. And that to me is being excellent, making sure I have certain standards, but making sure those who I'm trying to influence live up to those same standards as well. And when they make mistakes, just like I make plenty of mistakes, have grace. Just tell them, get up, dust yourself off, and make your next day the very best day. And so that's my motivation, and I want to do it to the fullest. Hopefully I can influence as many people as I can.
Man, that's awesome. As I said, man, you're an ambassador of good, and we need that a lot more in the world. One thing I do like to do when we talk to people that may not get the opportunities as they like to get back home, to see everybody, because when you are home, you're going to spend quality time with the family. But I'm going to open the floor to you right now. Take as much time as you want. Give shout outs, words of encouragement, whatever you want to do for everyone listening in the area, especially back in Aberdeen.
Well, I be honest with you, I want to shout out everybody in Mississippi. Mississippi has shown me so much love, and everywhere I go, I show Mississippi love because that's my home state. That's where I'm from. That's where I was born, and that's what I try to represent. I wanted to, when I left Mississippi, for everybody, I wanted to represent my state the right way so that you guys would be proud of the product that you pushed off to other states, to other businesses, to other things that I may be involved in. And I always got to represent the maroon, of course, as you guys already know.
There it is.
And so I just thank you guys for all your support. And I want to continue to work extremely hard. And I want to encourage somebody out there that may have suffered loss. I want to encourage somebody out there that may be in a difficult situation, that to remember that, hey, you never lose in life. You either win or you learn. Everything that you go through in life can teach you something and can help you grow. So in turn, so you can learn and take that information and recycle it to the next group of kids, and so that they can learn and grow from it as well. Either I win or either I learn. And I want to encourage you guys to do the little things right. Terrence Mathis was a veteran wide receiver with the Atlanta Falcons my rookie year. And Terrence Mathis came to me and told me, he whispered in my ear. Well, he didn't whisper in my ear, but he whispered kind of low because he didn't want to shout me out in front of everybody. And he said, listen to me, Rook. If you do the little things right, the big things will follow. Me being a young guy, I was just freshly drafted into the NFL, second-round draft pick. I thought I knew everything. Who is this old guy? He's on one leg. He's obviously is going to be out of the league here shortly. Who is he to come tell me what to do? He knew, he could tell what I was thinking. And he said, listen to me now, Rook. Listen to me. I've been there and done that, because Terrence Mathis was everything back then. He said, listen to me, Rook. If you do the little things right, the big things will follow. What I didn't realize, Terrence was standing over by the sideline, practice after practice, just watching me, noticing me, looking at some of my flaws, watching some of my miscues. And he kept noticing me doing the same thing over and over and over again. And he prompted me to say, listen, if you really want to be a success in the NFL, you're going to have to start focusing on the small stuff that's going to help you be a success. So oftentimes, Adam, we are so focused on the big picture. I want to become this. I want to become this. But what does it take? I got knocked on my butt a few times, and a few times, and a few more times. And that message finally rang in my ear. If you do the little things right. So I started focusing on my footwork, started focusing on my leverage, started focusing on my hands. Those are football terms that most football players know. Once I mastered and controlled my footwork, my leverage, and my hands, ended up playing 13 years in the NFL, excelling tremendously. I take that same lesson with me in business, with my wife, raising my kids, how I treat people. It's not about what they do. It's really about what I do. And if I do the little things right, the big things would always happen. And so that's proven to be very beneficial in my life. And I'm praying and hoping that it will be beneficial to you guys as well.
Absolutely. And I know I said it multiple times. That's a great message. And Reggie, I really do appreciate your time today to talk with us here. Do want to encourage people to visit reggiekelly82.com. That's where you can go find out more about Reggie's career, all the goodness that he does offer, his products, his book as well. If you haven't got that book, if you can find one, I still encourage you to reach out and get those. Reggie, thank you again, man.
Well, we got one more thing. We got one more question. We got one more question that we didn't get to.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Who you got this weekend? That's on me. That's on me, my man.
I got to hear. I want to get your prediction first.
Oh, mine?
I'm gonna give you back.
And somebody asked me this yesterday, and I was like, my brain's telling me the Chiefs, but my heart is telling me Tampa Bay. How can you go against how can you go against Brady? That's the question. I saw somebody post a stat where they said if you compare how many times Brady has made it to the Super Bowl versus how many times, or the 3-point percentage of Steph Curry, the percentage of Brady making the Super Bowl is better than Curry making a 3-point. That's just insane. But I'm going to go with Tampa Bay.
You know what? I'm right along with you, man. You know what? It's hard to go against Kansas City. Number one, they have great barbecue.
Yeah, that's facts.
Number two, the head coach he's a genius. The offensive coordinator is very, very aggressive and a great mastermind. The quarterback is out of this world, one of the up-and-coming stars for many, many years to come. Chris Jones, a fellow MSU, alum, and he's holding down that defensive line. An excellent play. It's hard really to go against Kansas City, but I'm rooting for Tampa Bay for more reasons than one. When I was a 17, 18-year-old snotty-nosed kid from Aberdeen, Mississippi, Bruce Arians was one of the first coaches to recruit me at Mississippi State. Came to my house. He was the offensive coordinator there at Mississippi State. Came to my house, met my parents. My parents fell in love with him. And my dad and I still talk about Coach Bruce Arians to this day. Bruce brought me to Mississippi State. He was one of the main reasons why I went. And he gave me a tidbit of information when I was a freshman. He said, listen to me, freshman. Trust the technique. Don't trust your talents. Don't trust the gifts. Trust the technique. The technique will get the job done for you. Then when you add your talents to the mix, that's when greatness comes. And he told me, I remember that since I was a freshman in the NFL, because he told me, listen, the position is going to change. The person in the position is going to change. You're not going to be at Mississippi State all your life. Then the next tight end is not going to be at Mississippi State, but the technique is going to stay the same. So regardless of who we put in here, they're still going to have to do the technique. And so I spoke with Coach B.A. I spoke with him right before the playoff began. And I wished him well and just told him, man, you know who I'm rooting for. And I've still had a great relationship with him since I was a 17-year-old kid coming out of Aberdeen. And so I got to root for him. The second reason is I remember what Tom Brady did to my Atlanta Falcons a few years back. And so if he can pull that one off, anything is possible. So with those two combinations, I'm going to go for Tampa Bay, but that's why we wait to see how the game plays out.
Absolutely. And by the way, one more thing I've got to ask now. What's on the menu this weekend?
Well, you can't have Super Bowl without having some dip. So we got some sauce, some chips and dip. We got some wings on deck, too. I can't wait. I haven't had wings in a long time. I actually fast from wings for about a month or so before the Super Bowl so that when I do get a chance to eat, I'm going in on them. Absolutely. So I got to have some wings, got to have some chips and dip. I'm going to have some celery and carrots, but, that's just for decoration.
That's like any time I go somewhere, they're like, would you like celery or carrots? I'm just like, I hate for you to waste them, but you didn't bring them that bad. So. Well, Reggie, again, man, it's been a great conversation. Thank you for everything you do. I know you're dedicated to bringing good to life, and we need a lot more of that in this world. And you're one of those ambassadors of good, as I like to call it. And anytime we can do, or anytime you want to come back on the show, man, just hit me up and we'll chat again. It's been a great conversation and good catching up as well.
Thanks, man. It's always a pleasure, man. I appreciate you. You've been doing great things for a long time, man. Continue to do great things in the community and continue to just be you, man. It's refreshing to see that. And I wish you nothing but continued success, man. And let's go State.
All right. We'll be back with more of the ICC Hour right after this.
Renaissance Rewards Extra is the checking account that checks all the boxes. Roadside assistance? Check. Cell phone insurance? Check. More than 400,000 local shopping discounts? Check. Up to $25 per month in ATM refunds and a great rate? Check. All in an easy-to-use mobile app. To open an account or find out more about Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking, go to renaissancebank.com or visit us at any of our more than 190 locations throughout the South. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
I feel like I'm the good kind of spicy. It means you got an edge. I got an edge.
It means you've got some umph, and I got some umph.
I don't know about your umph, but impatience doesn't equal spicy.
Sonic Chicken Slinger.
Is it a good umph or a bad umph?
Would you rather eat in the car or eat at the dinner table at home?
Rather eat in the car.
You can turn on some tunes. Dancing. Eating. You know how weird we'd look if we did this at the kitchen table?
Sonic Wacky Pack.
Right now, we just having a good time.
Hey, honey, could you help me with this? Today tastes like staying in. And it never tasted this good.
You know what I remember when you were born?
Today tastes like a Sunday ritual. And it never tasted this good.
Hey Indian fans, I'm Ricky Murphy, real estate agent, Tommy Morgan Realtors, and I'm also a proud alumni of the All-American Marching Band. Itawamba Community College was my home for 2 years, and where you decide to make your home will be one of the most important decisions of your life. Whether you're looking to create a plan to buy your first home, or if you're ready today to make a move into your forever home, give me a call or send me a message so we can discuss your next move. And for my family,
Roll Tide!
Ooh, fumble. Let's give her a Renaissance replay. Make the right call with Renaissance and get cell phone protection with Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking. Sign up today.
Might be a little while before I get to the bank.
That's an incomplete pass. Let's give it a Renaissance replay. Renaissance Mobile Check Deposit. Make the right call and open an account with Renaissance today.
That's home. That's just like the Ravens. That's just like Pahokee, Florida. That's my second home. I got my degree from there, my first degree, college degree. It's part of my heart, it's part of my soul, it's part of my spirit. And you know, it's everything. Itawamba Community College, baby, it's everything. It shaped me up to being a great man because it was part of the journey of me becoming the young man I am today. And it's home, man. That's it. Like, I can go there and lay my head down without no problems. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, I had a chance to sit down with ICC head football coach Sean Cannon to talk about this week's National Signing Day. I invite you to head over to the football page on letsgoicc.com to see the full list of this year's signees. By the way, if you want to, you can go back and watch some of the games for this past season by visiting the on-demand section of letsgoicctv.com. You can also, those are also available on if you have a Roku, a Fire Stick, those type devices. All you got to do is search Itawamba CC on those devices and download them there. Now, we'll say that we got a notice from our provider that the Fire Stick or Fire TV was messing up the previous few weeks, so you may have to try it a few more times just in case. But either way, I digress. Let's go and sit down with Coach Sean Cannon to talk about National Signing Day. And now talking with Coach Sean Cannon. And Coach, yesterday, National Signing Day, always a fun, exciting day. Signed somebody today as well, so I believe that's 25 guys you're welcoming to the program. So just talk about National Signing Day.
Yeah, going back to the fall, and knew the NCAA kids had got the year back, and our kids were kind of waiting to, to figure out their fate. And, eventually you got the word that they were coming back and, they were going to come back for another year. And so had a good bit of kids that wanted to stay, had some move on and some sign. And so was able to, found out some with, a little bit later than others, but had a pretty good idea of who was wanting to return and come back. And so we were able to kind of target some positions that we knew we had to get some people in, to replace. And so thought we was able to do that.
All right, so you do have 35 right now coming back from last year's team. How many of those are...
Well, I think it's around 30.
Okay, so around 30.
Around
okay.
30, around 30.
All right, do you know how many guys of those are the ones that taken advantage of the extra year?
Yeah. Most of, I guess where you see the smaller numbers that we signed, we got most of those returning. Most of our D-line is back. I think six guys coming back there. I know 6 linebackers, all of our running backs, a few receivers. And so, had some that we knew we had to replace some guys pretty quick and, get some guys in. And so, really good mixture, especially kids that didn't have a chance to go through off season last year because of, everything getting shut down. And so those guys have been in the weight room this, since we got done and back in the spring. And so I think that's going to help them moving forward too, hopefully going into spring ball.
All right, so you identified the needs you needed to fill off last year's team. How do you feel like the signing class went to fill those needs?
Well, I think it went good, with the circumstances we had, as far as the only real thing we could do was go out and watch them practice and play. And then once all that was over with, the only way they could really see you face-to-face was come to your campus. And I thought that most of them came, brought their parents, and anytime kids do that, I think they're pretty serious about wanting to play, and really want to check you out and things like that. And so I thought that was a plus for us, and be able to get them on campus, especially the parents, and they see the way our school operates and all of our facilities and campus life, and I thought it was a big plus for us.
Let's talk about that. You kind of touched on it there for a second. What were the challenges and the, I hate to say stipulations, but regulations on what you could do, couldn't do for this year's recruiting class?
Well, typically when you get done playing and once this, state opens back up, you're pretty much able to go and, go to where you want to, even though it's only one time a week. But so, you take your trips in your other areas that you recruit from, and you're able to see kids and eyeball them instead of having to, text them and tweet them and call them on the phone. You could really have a face-to-face conversation. And so that pretty much got shut down. And so the first time we were seeing some of them were the first time they came on campus, and so typically you'd been, that'd been part of the third time you'd seen them, and so that was a little different, doing that, and then did a lot of FaceTime visits with parents on the iPads and and things like that, and just whatever we could do to try to get in front of their, in front of them, to talk with them and everything, and and I think the kids that were the 2021 kids understood there was limited spots, and so I think you had a lot of kids that were really narrowing down their choices instead of, in the past taking 8-10 visits. They pretty knew that the spots were going to be pretty limited this year, and so I think that they really researched where they wanted to go, and I think that's where they wanted to set their sights on to go visit.
Now you did have the inside track on one. Very, very unique situation. I know we'll talk first as a coach, and then we'll talk let's don't even talk as a coach. Let's talk as a dad. Yeah. How does it feel knowing that you're going to get a chance to coach your son here at ICC?
Yeah, a little different there. I remember we moved here. He was in second grade, and look up now he's a senior, and he kept up with all the guys over the years. With Dan and Galmore and all those guys, and so he's kept up with them and over the years, and I guess those guys were, Wade might have been a freshman when those guys were leaving here, and so it's amazing how the bonds he's formed with the former players here, and now he gets to do what those guys did. He's been on the sidelines ever since he's been here, with running balls or just being a fan, and so it's going to be a little bit different. See him in a helmet and a pair of shoulder pads in the fall for sure.
And what does it mean to you? I know as a dad, it's got to be special.
Yeah, just being able to, see him reach his dreams, and I never wanted to push football on him. Really anything. I wanted him to make his own decisions in life and not be affected by, the things that I did or want him to do or whatever. And, there was a point in time there, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't know if he's going to even play, which that was fine with me. That was good with me, because when I step away from this job, when I go and support him in person, whether he was playing baseball or football, I was dad. I was not coach. And I critiqued him, but I was never one that was going to push anything on him unless he wanted to be, unless he wanted it for me to do it there. And so, it'll probably hit me more when we start handing out equipment that first day of fall camp and look up and there's my son in the locker room. And so I know a lot of coaches that's coach their kids, not a lot of them, but know some. And so I reached out to them just, figuring out how it was going to be and everything, and every one of them told me the same thing. It was it was a great blessing to be able to do that.
I know it will be for sure. All right, so now what's next? You've got the recruiting class in. Of course, everybody knows COVID's a thing right now, so kind of limited on what we can and can't do.
Right.
So what's next?
Well, got our first wave done. We kind of look at February 3rd is our first wave of recruiting. We're still, with the added numbers this year that we did get added to the, to our roster, just due to the fact of, you could have some here in April and May and, look to leave, just the way it is. And so, the league stepped up to add us, a couple extra players to our roster. So we're still looking to, fill a couple of spots there, and so we've, still on some kids, and, out of state recruiting never stops and everything. And so, it kind of slows down a little bit, but it never stops, and then being able to get in the weight room with the kids that are here on campus and work them out, and, and hopefully get to spring break unscathed and get back from spring. And then, I guess we can figure out if we're going to have a spring ball or not, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do spring ball this year, because we'll have some good numbers out there, and we'll get some good competition in. And we were out there this week running, and a little chilly, and I said, boys, y'all can imagine we was playing this year, playing right now in the spring. And they were like, whoa, coach, I don't know. So I'm really glad we did get our season in as and so the kids could play. And so, they're working hard. And, it's just, that's a good thing about a college coach. Your jobs change. You go from season to recruiting season to off season, and then you get into the summer months, and we'll look at it be August again pretty quick, right around the corner.
Yep. Well, Coach, any final thoughts before I let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank all the kids that came our way, and I know it was a tough decision for some of them, and which I always told them is an easy decision. But the ones that did decide to come with us and their families, we're looking forward to getting them here and working with them. And everybody's asked me here in yesterday and today, how's your recruiting class? I said, well, you never know till we play, and so. We think we've got some really good kids, and that's really the thing we look for. We look for really good people first, and excited to get them here, and kind of see what our team's going to be next year, and hopefully the returning guys with that extra year, because really, if you look at it, they're going to be juniors on the field, and now they're just going to be considered sophomores and freshmen again, and so I think that's going to be a key for us, and then the job you guys do here promoting our kids, and I know I looked at a lot of the other graphics and press releases from the other schools, and ours wiped them away, and the way y'all publicize these kids and everything, I think it's an awesome deal for them. But the real work starts now. The fun part's over, and now you got to really get yourself ready to go, and look forward to getting this 2021 season rolling.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time, and good luck heading that way.
Appreciate it.
Renaissance Rewards Extra is the checking account that checks all the boxes. Roadside assistance? Check. Cell phone insurance? Check. More than 400,000 local shopping discounts? Check. Up to $25 per month in ATM refunds and a great rate? Check. All in an easy-to-use mobile app. To open an account or find out more about Renaissance Rewards Extra Checking, go to renaissancebank.com or visit us at any of our more than 190 locations throughout the South. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The outlook for overpriced pizza has never been better. Who's gonna stop us?
Sir, Little Caesars has the lowest price pizza delivered, guaranteed.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. Get $5 off your first delivery.
Pizza.
Parmesan, Asiago, and fresh mozzarella.
All this cheesing is rather pleasing. Yep, tastes like $1 million.
Pepperoni cheeser. Only $7.
Pizza.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Hey, honey, could you help me with this? Today tastes like staying in. And it never tasted this good.
I remember when you were born?
Today tastes like a Sunday ritual. And it never tasted this good.
Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renaissance Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs, and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion, or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton, or online davisfordsales.com.
Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Brought to you by Renaissance Bank, the bank that understands you. Learn more at renaissancebank.com.